to restart Big Ten play.
Huskies start out with the basketball. We got a nice crowd on hand on this
I'm not
Christmas
surprised.
Eve.
A little crosstown game. Seattle U about what, 3.5 miles away, something like that?
Couldn't be much further than that. Pull-up jumper from Akai Mason, and the hot shooting continues.
Well, that's what they need right there. They need some guys to knock down perimeter shots because Great Osabor has been getting a lot of attention down on the block. But if they can knock down perimeter jumpers, AJ, it's going to open up things for him and maybe give him an opportunity to go one-on-one.
John Christopoulos, the many Seattle natives in this matchup.
Yeah, that's a local kid right there. He's got a sweet jumper, man. The one dribble pull-up for John Christopoulos.
Here's Mason. Huskies had one of their best shooting performances in a long time against Washington State. Really, they were great against Eastern Washington, so it's been the last couple of matchups after what had been a prolonged shooting slump. Here's Paris Dawson off the screen. Now it's Arrington dropping off for Huron Dan out of China.
I like it. Nice little jump hook by the young fella, 6'10", straight out of China. You told me AJ doesn't speak much English, but he knows how to put that ball in the hole.
Head coach for for Seattle U, Chris Victor, was talking about just the adjustment that it would normally take for a freshman as Washington turns it over, and then add in the fact that Huron Dan really doesn't speak almost any English. It's a lot more difficult. Turnaround jumper for Christopoulos. Dan is battling, but Iheanacho, who has established himself as the starting point guard, rips it away, then throws it away.
You can see John Christopoulos is up for the challenge. I've never seen him put the ball on the floor that many times. It takes somebody down to the post. That was a nice move. He missed the turnaround, Jay, but I like the aggressiveness by him so far here early.
Dawson is left open. (4-2) for the visiting Redhawks in the early going. Tyler Harris been on fire from three. And this here. Seattle U just 2-8 against Division I opponents this year, but has been battling injuries, and that's an offensive foul. Matthew Alexander Moncrief, who's back in the lineup today, called for the foul. Washington head coach Danny Sprinkle, 5th year as a Division I head coach, 1st year for the Huskies, and comes from a family background. His father played for the Washington football team.
We had a team dinner during the summer when he first got hired, AJ, and he told me he was a big Husky fan because his dad played here. He followed him ever since. And I'm not just talking about football, I'm talking about basketball as well.
On the other side, Chris Victor, he's a California native. He's in his 4th year for Seattle U. He was named interim head coach going into the 21-22 season, and then wound up winning Coach of the Year that year in the WAC and a regular season title in the WAC, and that's a good way to keep your job full time.
He's done an excellent job. You know, I think 3 20-win seasons in a row. Like you said, took over for Coach Hayford and hasn't looked back. He's had some really good guards. I just saw one being shown behind the UW bench. He came to UW after he left Seattle U, Terrell Brown, but he's had some really good players come through Seattle U, and as a result, it got a lot of good wins, some good seasons.
Got a couple that left the program just last year, Cameron Tyson and Alex Schumacher, who are both in the G League this year. Cameron Tyson playing for the team in Portland in the Rip City Remix, the Blazers affiliate. Christopoulos makes the 3 and the foul.
Yeah, the and one. You don't want to ever foul a three-point shooter, but they know he can shoot the rock. I heard him at shoot-around talking about wherever number 11 goes, follow him. If he goes to the bathroom, follow him. And that time, Akai Mason just wasn't close enough. Great Osabor tries to help, but ends up fouling John Christopoulos. This young man, AJ, I met him for the first time when I think he was in the 5th or 6th grade. He used to go to this trainer named Benjamin Muhammad, who played at NC State, and he had a grown man jumper in the 5th grade. He had some serious elevation on his jump shot getting off the floor, but he's been a great shooter almost his entire life. Yeah, you got to know where he is and force him to put that ball on the floor.
He was a high school teammate of Paolo Boncaro at O'Day. Went to Creighton, didn't get a lot of time there, and comes back home, and that level of shooting is going to play pretty well in the Western Athletic Conference for Seattle U. as the officials are going to go take a look at this before we get some a potential fourth free throw. Let's see.
Yeah, we couldn't see it. It looked like the camera angle got cut off on that one.
Let's hear what they're looking at. Thought he just tried to talk into the microphone.
I think the officials are taking a look to see if he kicked his leg out, old Reggie Miller style. Reggie Miller from UCLA used to do that all the time. Refs are taking a look at it.
So now the thing is, Eldridge, my understanding is if they're going to make a change on the initial call, wouldn't they have to make it a flagrant?
I have no idea. It looked like a just natural body movement to me, AJ. You know, I'm no referee, but I played basketball for a long time. It didn't look like he intentionally kicked his leg out to me.
They're going to the
if
monitor.
He did, and you get a flagrant for that, man, that's terrible.
If they're going to the monitor to look for a flagrant, I mean, because normally you're not in the business of, you know, reviewing a common foul and then saying, well, this is a different common foul. You really can't do that. When a flagrant plays into it, then more other rulings come into play. But I think if you're not going to say that was a flagrant, I don't think you can overturn that.
Well, I'm glad it's just a play on, because that's all I thought that it was.
So it's a chance for a 4-point play for Christopoulos, and he gets it.
Yeah, I mentioned he grew up here in Seattle. You know, UW, I don't think UW recruited him. Maybe they did, but I know it wasn't highly. So as you mentioned, went to Creighton for a year. Things didn't work out, came home. I remember being at a game last season, AJ, and I think it was the game that he broke his wrist. But he started off outstanding for Seattle U last season.
Catch and shoot, corner three, Mason.
That's a good shot by Makai Mason right there. He didn't hesitate. He was ready to shoot it. Just didn't knock it down.
Arrington will reset it. Still 20 on the shot clock on this possession for the Redhawks.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch Malik Arrington when he was at Auburn High School in the Fall League in Mercer Island. He has a nice game, AJ.
Huron Dan. Harris, I think, tried to pull the chair from behind him, and Dan kept himself upright and finished.
Tell you what, Huron Dan doesn't look like a freshman to me, and fresh from China. He's played some high-level basketball before. That was a nice move.
Pull-up jumper. It's been Mason early on for Washington. Another miss. Mason's gotten a lot of shot attempts.
Yeah, he's got 4 shots up already. Kai Mason thinking he's great Osibor out there.
Dawson toward the lane. Quick pass from Dawson to Moncrief.
That's a nice move right there.
Early timeout called by Danny Sprinkles. Seattle U making an opening statement.
Yeah, Seattle, the first high flyer. You know, my dad talked about him all the time, man. He was Julius Erving before Julius Erving and Connie Hawkins. Elgin Baylor, one of the greatest of all time, playing in a t-shirt jersey. How about that?
And then carved out an impressive legacy as a general manager as well, at a time when not a lot of minorities were being hired in an executive position. You got a chance to be your GM, right?
My GM, yeah, with the Los Angeles Clippers, man. I was like a kid in the candy store when I met him. I couldn't believe it. D. Elgin Baylor. Yeah, Seattle U's had some great players over the years.
They're doing him proud right now with a 12-3 early start in front of this great crowd here tonight in Alaska Airlines Arena. Turnover there, but what's been behind this good Redhawks start?
I just think that they're fired up. You know, they're the smallest school in town. They've lost 18 in a row. I think that UW is up 35-4 in the series. This is the 40th match. But they want to get a win, and they came really, really close. As you already know, AJ, last year, double overtime game, where they were up huge in the first half. I think they were up 16 at one point. So they know they can play with Washington, and they're showing it here so far tonight.
Yeah, they've lost 18 in a row in the series.
Yep.
Against
Don't want to make it
Washington.
19 in a row.
Diallo trying to go baseline, reach-in foul is called on Malik Arrington. And last year, so that 16-point deficit came toward the very end of the first half. Actually, early in the second half. And then they led by 14 at halftime. Washington came back, wound up going to double overtime. Seattle U actually had a chance to win that game in double overtime. Alex Schumacher missed a three at the buzzer.
Yeah, I can remember one of the smallest guys on the floor, Xavier Wheeler, got an offensive rebound and put it back in for Washington. And yeah, they really, really got lucky. And you can tell that they carried over from last season, because right now Seattle U is up 12-3. They believe that they can win this game. Not only play with them, but I think they believe that they can win.
8-0 run in the last 2+ minutes for Seattle U, which, despite some of their struggles this year, now a way different team with their best player, top scorer and rebounder back in Matthew Alexander Moncrief, who transferred in from Georgia. Catch and shoot, Christopoulos, high difficulty. And rebound, Christian King. Also, Kobe Williamson, number 96, in there, a fifth-year senior from Melbourne, Australia, making his season debut. He was their starting center last year.
You can tell he wants to do his own thing, because I don't think I've ever seen anybody wear number 96 at no level.
Including him, because he had a jersey change going into this year. Catch and shoot for King. Line drives off the rim.
Now Washington has to look out for Maldonado, number 0, who just checked into the game. He had 22 last outing. He can really shoot the three.
First game of the season, doesn't matter. Williamson is ready.
Yeah, he's a difference maker. He's a difference maker for the Redhawks. There's no doubt about it.
They weren't sure what they were going to get tonight out of Williamson and Moncrief, because they have had limited practice time recently. Well, they're getting a lot so far. 10-0 SU run. Zoom Diallo to the foul line.
Well, the good thing for Williamson is he already knows Coach Victor's system, so he doesn't have to learn anything. He just get back out there and do his thing. You can see rocking number 96, man. That's not a number, ladies and gentlemen, that you see. Now, I was going to say a lot, but you don't see that number at all. I've never seen somebody wear number 96 in basketball. I don't even think I've seen somebody wear number 96 in football.
Well,
you think of 96, you're thinking about a year.
Lineman?
Yeah, back in 1996. Would you say?
Yeah. Well, this Seattle U team, again, 4-8 record, 2-1 against Division I opponents coming in, but they've put together 3 straight 20-win seasons, coinciding with the start of the Chris Victor era, and they won a WAC championship there a couple of years ago. They've been good, and they still have a good number of that core that's back this year, plus some new transfers coming in, like Moncrief from Georgia and Arrington and Maldonado.
Well, that lets you know it's no fluke. 3 21 seasons in a row, no doubt. He knows what he's doing over there on the sideline. He's building a nice program.
Christopoulos, not a guy you want to leave. That's right, Eldridge, but he's just a bit strong there. We go to Washington. We just mentioned it, the run that SU has been on, and it's actually the second best streak of all time in their program history. They had those powerhouse years back in the 50s.
Yeah, a lot of our Big Ten viewers probably don't know, but Seattle U dropped down. They dropped out of Division I for a long, long time, and recently came back. They're in the WAC right now, but next season they're going to move over to the WCC, and Coach Victor told us he was really, really excited about that. But back in the day, Seattle U was a powerhouse. You know, Tom Workman, Johnny and Eddie O'Brien, Eddie Miles, Charlie Williams. I mean, they had some absolutely fantastic players. Steve Looney, Jawan Oldham, Clint Richardson. Offensive foul there.
That was on the pass. And going the other way.
That's a good call by the official. Zoom got to learn when he gets into the lane like that, you got to come to a jump stop so you don't do exactly that, pick up an offensive foul, running over somebody. Smart play by Seattle U.
You could pretty much go in any gym in the country and hear coaches say, got to play off 2 feet.
Yep. When you get in that paint.
Moncrief slides in. It is 16-3.
He looked like he's okay to me, AJ. Not sure what his injury was with the games he missed, or if it was just an illness. But he looks good so far. Seattle U has come to play.
That's close to being the same call on the pass there, but Dawson is called for a block with 12-10 in the first half.
His first foul, 15th foul.
Yeah. Seattle U, you can tell they've really scouted Washington. They know that their players have a tendency to leave their feet on passes, AJ, and they're prepared for it. That just goes to show excellent scouting and a good job by Chris Victor and his staff to point that out to his players, because I don't know of any guys that look to do that. I used to hate taking charges as a player.
Diallo bobbled it, but recovers and puts it in. You weren't a charge-taking guy?
No, I hated it, man. I didn't want to get dunked on. You just put on a poster, try to take a charge.
Osobor, a point forward for Washington, has the ability to take it up the floor himself and make plays. Nice pass, Diallo. Harris finishes, and the foul.
That was a nice pass by Zoom. Osobor was a little bit frustrated. He wanted it back. Yeah, this young fella right here has missed the last 3 games, but you can see he's ready to play. Moncrief can put that ball on the floor and attack the basket. And just a beautiful pass by Zoom, hooking up Tyler Harris.
Bring me good juju.
The colors, and they've got the game going right now. Yeah. A great Christmas present this would be for Chris Victor if they can pull off this upset.
Sure would. A little delay here to clean the floor, but for Washington, they recently sort of found their jump shot over the last couple of games. The thing that's been there most of the year has been defense. They're 60th in the country out of 350-plus teams in defensive efficiency. Struggling early on the defensive side. Seattle U shooting 58% from the field.
Yeah, they're struggling for 3-point range, too. They're 0 for 4 so far. Got to get something going from the perimeter.
Off the Moncrief double team. Dawson is the one left open, and he side rims it.
He could have took his time and did a routine and everything, but missed it. Big break for Washington. If he could hit that one, boy, they'd be in a big hole. Just over 11 minutes to play. They've got a chance to turn things around.
With the ball in Osobor's hands. Trying to shake and bake and lean and score.
That's just excellent footwork and a nice finish with the left hand by great Osobor. If he can get a one-on-one matchup, AJ, he can beat most defenders off the dribble. He's 6'8", but he got a nice handle with the rock.
Maldonado, no look, whips it to the corner. Dawson is in.
And you can see the difference with that when he got his feet underneath and went up strong with it and knocked it down.
How do you think Big Ten teams are going to defend Osobor?
I think they're going to double team him as well. With the way Washington struggles shooting the three-point shot, why wouldn't you?
Right now
it's the ball out of his hands, make somebody else beat you.
A double team there. He finds Davis. That's what worked the last couple of games, because Davis and company began hitting their shots.
Well, that's the reason he was brought here to Washington, was to knock down perimeter jumpers, and he struggled a little bit with it so far this season.
Moncrief and King with a little extra after that held ball.
Yeah, it's a little chippy out there. Take a look at it right here. It's Moncrief. And they call it a tie-up, but Christian King's lucky he didn't pick up a foul, because it looked like he had a hold of Moncrief's arm.
I know fans have been watching these broadcasts might have noted that his father Rich played for the Sonics.
Yeah, Big Rich King.
Also, by the way, though, a Big Ten connection, because he was born in Lincoln, raised in Omaha, and then started Nebraska.
Yep. Big Rich is in here somewhere. I don't know where he's at. But I know he's in here somewhere watching his son.
They could use his shooting on this roster for sure.
Let's see how you having a tough time getting the ball inbound. At 10 with just over 10 minutes to play here in the first half.
A little mismatch down there if they can get it to Moncrief, but then Washington hard doubles, difficult shot, doesn't hit the rim for Matthew Alexander Moncrief out of Toronto.
Yeah, smaller player in Ian Nacho, but an excellent defender. He's not going to give you anything easy.
Excellent recovery back down the court by Moncrief to prevent what would have been an easy layup for Harris.
When I look at Moncrief, he reminds me of Samaki Walker. It's gonna. The guy who played in the league. Yeah. Son played at Colorado. Jabari plays for the Portland Trailblazers. That's the second good look for DJ Davis, but he can't knock it down. It surprised me to see Jace Butler get a little bit of burn tonight too. If DJ can't knock down some burn jumpers.
Vasya Panja out of England to Huron Dan out of China, the freshman. He's showing up post moves in the first half.
Yeah, Huron Dan's got some game. He's making some tough shots. Wow, just a freshman.
Asked them how they found him, and Chris Victor just said it was kind of random. They have another player on the team from China and one from Japan, but they just kind of found Huron Dan through a connection with an assistant coach. They're hoping it starts a pipeline going forward, because one of the reasons that Dan chose Seattle U is that he felt like, from a cultural standpoint, the adjustment would be a lot easier because of the Asian American population in Seattle.
He's showing us he's got some skills, AJ. I mean, he puts this ball on the floor, a little spin move to a jump hook. Man, that's nice. I don't know who taught him the game, but he's got some nice fundamentals. And so far here tonight, I think that's his third basket. He's off to a good start.
They have another freshman on the team. His name is Eric Zhang from Beijing, who's unlikely to play. He's a walk-on. And his role on the team is basically translator.
Well, from what I've seen so far tonight, Huron Dan looked like he's going to be a stud. So my man is going to be on the squad. He might just get some burn. Yeah, I've been impressed with number 6, Huron Dan from China. Listed as a freshman. Not sure how old he is, but he got the wind knocked out of him. He's over there on the bench still kind of hunching over. Seattle U still up 11.
Trying to run Christopoulos off of something.
Yeah, that's the way. You don't let him get that three-point shot off. You got to be right there, make him put it on the floor.
Now they space it 5 out, let Panja go to work. Leaning in. Oh, they got lucky. There wasn't a foul there on Asabor, and it's out off of Panja.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good defense by great Asabor, moving his feet. And you can see right here, it's just straight one-on-one. Yeah, it might be right, AJ. He might have got away with a foul there.
His arm came down there at the end.
Yep, sure did. The refs are letting him play.
Nonetheless, Seattle U by double figures.
And Tyree and Nacho, when he comes off their screens, he's looking to set up his teammate.
Asabor leaves his primary defender in the dust. Help comes over. Harris shows it, takes it back, and misses the layup.
That was a nice move. I thought he was going to try to dunk it, AJ. He should have. He's 6'8" with long arms.
That was like a condensed Steve Smith move. Closer to the hoop there by Tyler Harris.
Yeah, he hit him with the Smitty, huh?
It was like a narrowed down version of it. As Christopoulos was able to get all the way home, doesn't hit the layup though. Now in transition, Davis takes it, it's good.
There you go, that's his job right there. To space the floor, knock down perimeter jump shots. Great pass by Makai Mason. The defense kind of all sucked in on great Asabor that time. And that's what left DJ Davis wide open behind the three-point line.
Coming off a season-high 21, DJ Davis. Williamson can't answer.
Washington has a chance to get a little bit of momentum right here. And one-on-one for great Asabor. Yeah.
Stepping through, what a move.
One guy can't guard him, AJ. I'm telling you, one-on-one matchup, he's going to score most of the time. Seattle U talked about double-teaming him in the shoot-around, but they didn't do it right there. We're going to take a look right here. Asabor leading the break, gives it up, and all the defense kind of sucks in with him. It leaves DJ Davis wide open. Knocked down the three-point shot. And then right here, just a beautiful spin move and a nice finish. Big fella's got some game.
Oklahoma City's affiliate, and now is in his first year as the director of player development. Gaddy told him, you could go 0 for 10. I don't care. Just keep shooting. And that's the mentality that Davis took, as Heimbrodt was able to make his way inside and go to the free throw line. Foul on Harris.
That's his role, AJ. He's only 6'1", so you would think he's a point guard, but he's really a shooting guard. So that's his role to go out there. You get a look at Abdul Gaddy from Bellarmine Prep down in Tacoma. He's a McDonald's All-American coming out of high school. Yeah.
Graduated second all-time in the Washington history books in the assist list.
Yeah, played here for Lorenzo Romar. Played high school basketball with a stud guy too. Yeah, ended up going to the University of Texas, getting drafted, had a great NBA career. Bellarmine Prep. T-Town.
looking at Vasya Panja on the bench right there, getting a little minor work done. 7-point game after Heimbrodt splits the pair.
I like the matchup right here for Washington with Williamson guard and Osobor. I think he can beat him off the dribble. Guys have to be ready when that help
at him,
comes,
and it's thrown away. Picked off by Malik Arrington. He's running, and Osobor lets him go.
Yeah, that was a bad pass by great Osobor. I mean, I know he saw Arrington right there, but he threw it right to him anyway.
That's what also
score.
got better the last couple of games. Osobor had that stretch, 3 straight games with 4 turnovers or more. The last 2 games, he was limited to just 2 turnovers, and they'll take that given how much he has the ball, but turns it over there.
They're going to send help, so somebody has the space to be ready to knock down the jumper. Oh, he's going, yeah. One-on-one, AJ, I'm telling you, they can't guard him one-on-one, especially Williamson. He's too slow.
I think so much of this season is going to come down to the shooting around him, but also the decision-making. Great Osobor is going to have the ball in his hands.
He's going to need somebody to knock down those perimeter shots in Big Ten play, because believe me, they're going to be scouted really, really well. We're going to take another look at the big fella going to work on the block, but if you're playing straight up one-on-one, the help came a little bit late. He's excellent down there with his footwork. That's left-handed. He's a right-handed player. He's not going to jump over you and dunk on you. But I tell you, with all the up and unders and the good footwork stuff, he's got it down.
Talk about in context how much they lean on him among all Big Ten forwards. To this point, only Trey Kaufman-Renn from Purdue has a higher usage rate than Osobor.
Good look, another good look for DJ Davis. Once again created by great Osobor, because all the defenders are paying attention to him.
Heimbrodt makes the catch, hits Christophilus. Seattle U by 7 with the ball. Christophilus strips away, and he draws another foul as a jump shooter.
Christophilus can shoot the rock, and Washington knows it. You know, I picked up on that at shoot-around. You know, they had a guy in a red jersey on the scout team wearing number 11, and they say wherever he goes, just make sure you stay with him. But he's aggressive and plays with a lot of confidence. I'm pretty sure he has a lot of family here at the game tonight, and he wants to play well.
Washington took a 2-0 lead, and it's been Seattle U in front since.
Yeah, Washington made a little bit of a run. Seattle U hanging in there, keeping his lead. Up 9. 5:30 left.
As much as this series has been dominated by Washington, but I believe it's actually 19 straight wins in the series, Seattle U has been within 8 points in 4 of the last 7 meetings, and Seattle U has led at halftime in 3 straight matchups. Of course, last year went to double overtime between these two teams as Osobor finishes with the left hand.
Yeah, he hit him with a little chicken wing to create some space. Great Osobor strong down there on the block. Huron Dan, just a freshman. He's got his hands full trying to guard him one-on-one.
9 points, 4 for 4 for great Osobor.
And Seattle used a little bit late on bringing that second defender over there to help. They got to get over there a little bit quicker. But he's off to a great start.
Arrington puts his head down. Good defense by Diallo. Fights back up with it. Arrington missed it again.
They got down there in the trees trying to go up against that big body of great Osobor.
Ooh, clear out. Diallo is going to get called for it.
Yeah, that did not look good at all. Clear some space.
That was like a running back right there.
Take another look at it right here. Yeah, zoom. I think Malik Arrington sold it. He sold it a little bit, though. He didn't get pushed that hard. Yeah, but Zoom's been in the weight room. You see those guns he's got on him.
Second foul on Diallo. There's Dan scoring once again. Huron Dan with 8 points on 4 for 4.
He looks like a really nice player. 6'10". He's agile.
Osobor doesn't take a lot of threes.
Yeah, that's not his game right there, shooting a three-point shot. They left him so wide open, I think he felt like he had to take it. Ooh.
Moncrief showing some shake to his game, and there's a foul called. Matthew Alexander Moncrief.
Yeah, that was a nice little in and out dribble right there by Moncrief, who I know Seattle U is happy to have back.
when I was younger.
Hey, talk about spreading some Christmas cheer. And take a look at Matthew Alexander Moncrief and Christian King.
Yeah, they say give a little love on Christmas, but I didn't know they said give a little elbow on Christmas too. Moncrief with the elbow, and then Christian King's cut back with the slap across the face. But yeah, these guys have been chippy.
It was earlier on in the game. There was a held ball, and they kind of stayed connected there after the tie-up was called.
This is going to be a matchup we have to keep our eye on. Yep.
And because Washington is without Wilhelm Breidenbach and, of course, Frank Kepnong, who is missing his 10th straight, they have had to have somebody like Christian King. I mean, Danny Sprinkle was talking about it. He played the 5 at times against Washington State. Credited his team, you know, for that win even more so because of that. He was saying, look, we haven't practiced all year with Christian King at the 5. Wilhelm Breidenbach was banged up, hit his head in the middle of that Washington State game. And so now you got Christian King. He's got to guard someone like Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Not an easy assignment.
Not at all. You know, a young man who earned a scholarship to Oklahoma State and then Georgia. So you know he's a big-time talent. And Christian King has his hands full.
Some of these Seattle U bigs were hurt. Moncrief and Williamson, they're now back, but U-dubs are still out. They're big, so it's a little advantage there coming into this matchup for Seattle U, and they're up by 11 here in the first half with 3:39 to go.
He called that foul on Huron Dan. And like I said, AJ, he's got his hands full. He's going to come out, get a little bit of a blow. He's been really, really good for Seattle U offensively with 8 points. Defensively, he's got his hands full. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a foul on him right there, though. He was fighting around to try the 3-quarter. And Great Alcibor initiated most of that contact, and the veteran got the call. This is his weakness right here, AJ, at the free throw line. Yeah, he hits that first one. If he can somehow regain his confidence and knock down his free throws, man, he's going to be tough to guard, because I think he's #1 in the conference for drawing fouls and free throw attempts at just over 8 a game.
And you saw there with that graphic what the team's struggles have cost Washington, shooting under 62% as a team.
It's not only him. You're right. They're struggling. Everyone with the exception of DJ Davis.
They get all of these attempts. They're top 3 in the conference in attempts, but they're down in the bottom half of the league in makes. That could make a difference. It is by no means a team that's going to have a chance to be in a lot of blowout wins this year the rest of the way. So they're going to have to win close games, have to make more free throws.
I agree with you 100%. Free throws, especially in conference play, is going to be important, because you know a lot of games will come down to the wire as John Christophilus bouncing around up there. Got that elevation that I was talking about on his jumper. This pull-up is sweet.
Good recovery by Malik Goma, the first time we have seen him, the sophomore from Seattle. Coming up on the halftime show presented by State Farm, we're going to recap the first half and take a look at Washington's upcoming conference schedule.
AJ, both teams are going deeper to the bench, playing a lot of guys. I told Malik at shoot-around I don't remember seeing him in high school, and I'm not sure how I missed him.
I'm sure that was a big confidence boost for him.
Hey, I was just being honest with him. Hey, that's it.
Picked off in the corner by Heimbrot. Good play by Heimbrot. Seattle U interchanging a lot of different front court players using their depth.
It looks like your stat about Seattle U being up at half is going to continue here tonight.
Up top. Oh! Remember him now.
I sure will. Go get it, Malik. I see you, baby. Get on that trampoline. Seattle U is fired up. Their fans are fired up. The whole bench is on their feet. That was a nice play. Malik Goma, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. What you say, AJ? He said, Eldridge Ricavs, you didn't remember me in high school. I bet you'll remember me now, because I'm going to climb the ladder and go get it. Oh, that was nice. Beautiful pass by Paris. And great finish.
Competed briefly for Ingram High School. Also spent a few years at Elite Prep. Malik Goma. Louis Courtright has come in. He's not played the last couple of games for the Dogs, as the follow is there from Ossibor, who's 5 for 6 and in double figures.
He's got 13 points. He's rolling. Pretty much all his baskets are left-handed. Seattle U's going to that pick and roll again. Let's see if Washington needs some help. You need a help defender. If Great Ossibor is going to help on the guard, somebody has to help him on the big. Nobody did on that possession where Malik Goma got that lob dunk. Weak side defenders have to be paying attention. Not watching their man, but watching the ball. Williamson comes back in rocking that mustache. I think you used to have your hair like that, they told me at one point, huh, AJ, when you were in college?
Where did you hear that from? Check your sources, man.
They said that was a Syracuse look, man. That's what I heard. That's the word on the street.
I think it's more of an Australia look where Kobe Williamson is from. But.
Oh, man. I had a chance to go to Australia. We were in college. We took a tour down there. We went to Sydney, Wollongong, Adelaide. Yeah, had a nice time, man. Everybody down there looked like, all the Aboriginal people looked like Shirley off of What's Happening. You remember that show, AJ? You're too young.
Well, they, you know, you take a look at, they're going to the West Coast Conference. They got St. Mary's and that Australian pipeline.
They've got an Australian connection. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I mean, maybe Seattle, you can keep that going. They're
Andrew Gaze, I think that's the name that I remember. He may be the most successful player from down there.
This has been a first half dominated by the Redhawks, no doubt about it. It's Osibor, DJ Davis left open.
That's the shot he has to make, as we can see.
Williamson screens for Dawson. Osibor out there blitzing it. Williamson finds a wide open Maldonado. That's a transfer from a Division II school in Denver. Braden Maldonado out of MSU Denver, adding on for Seattle U. Largest lead of the game for the Redhawks, and they're looking for more. It's loose on the floor. Davis is there. Here comes Courtright skying in. Blocked by Heimbrock.
What an awesome block by Heimbrock.
He feeds Maldonado, fakes, takes.
Boy, if you'd hit that, the SU fans would have took over this arena. That was a good look, though. I really like the way Seattle U is playing. They came to play tonight, and Washington just doesn't look like they were up for the task.
This is surprising, coming off a resounding Apple Cup win against Washington State. Now UW struggling with the Seattle U team that's been 2-8 against Division I foes this year, albeit with some players coming back in this game from injury. Osibor loses it. It's a race for it. Now the shot clock is off, so SU can hold, and they will choose to do that. Good recognition down there by Maldonado.
You're absolutely right. Smart
4
play.
seconds left to go in the half. It's Dawson getting by his man, flipping it up, wouldn't go. Osibor did just enough to guard Paris Dawson and keep it to 15 points.
Like, this is going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be an easy one. And it's just been the opposite. Seattle U has come out here, AJ, and they're ready to play.
Just
dominated that first half.
Before, very rare for a WAC team to have a double-figure halftime lead against a Big Ten opponent, but that's what happened in the first half. And this is a rebound by Moncrief and a foul on Osibor. And that is his second.
Yeah, that wasn't a good-looking shot attempt by great Osibor. He's right-handed. He shot that one right-handed, but it looked like a left-handed shot.
You were noticing maybe he's almost better down there with
his left
hand.
Yeah, at least tonight. You can see his body language. He's a little bit frustrated. I think he's more frustrated with the fact that he missed the chippy than picking up the foul. He's smart enough to play with 2 fouls, and that's why he's still on the floor. I think Coach Sprinkle has confidence in him as well.
Well, at one point in that Washington State game, they put him back in with 2 fouls, which Danny Sprinkle normally does not do. He usually sits his guys in the first half with 2, and that helped them against Washington State take a halftime lead as Matthew Alexander Moncrief leans in to Harris, and Harris brought his arm down. And so 2 free throws for Matthew Alexander Moncrief, first year at his 3rd school. It's his 5th year, the COVID year. He missed the last 3 games with a head injury and an illness as well. He got inconsistent playing time over the last couple of years for the University of Georgia. Originally, though, was a 4-star recruit out of Orangeville Prep in Ontario and went to Oklahoma State to begin his career. This year, he is one of just 16 players in the country who is averaging a double-double.
Well, you can see his athleticism on that play right there, and I can see why he was at Oklahoma State and Georgia. He's a big-time athlete.
They lost Branton Chatfield in the portal to Iowa State, and they replaced him with maybe a more dynamic player than Matthew Alexander Moncrief.
Yeah, not as big, but you're right, more effective. 14 and 10. That's some nice stats. Double-double.
Lead has swelled to 16, matching where it was last year early in the second half in that game that went to double overtime. But Harris cuts into it, basket, and the foul.
That's a nice move right there by Tyler Harris. He did not settle for the three-point shot, to put that ball on the floor and was able to finish through contact. At 6'8", he's a good athlete. It's a nice move by him. I like the fact that he didn't settle, AJ. Just throw something up there from three-point range. But this is a young man that has to be more consistent. He had 27 points early in the season. He showed some flashes, but he's just not consistent with it. And if Washington is going to have any type of success in Big Ten play, he has to become more consistent.
Grew up in the Bay Area. He's a huge Kevin Durant fan. Tyler Harris went to Portland last year. The Portland Pilots made the All-West Coast Conference freshman team, and now comes into Washington off to a pretty good start to his first year with the Dogs. Christopoulos is pure.
Yeah, I know they had to see his name on the scouting report saying you couldn't leave him open behind the three-point line. That's just bad defense by the Washington Huskies. Tyree Iheanacho got a screen in the backcourt, kind of took him out of the play, and it's just bad defense.
Good position down low by Osibor, and the foul is called. And as we noted in the first half, defensive issues, that really hasn't been the issue this year for Washington. It's been more on the offensive side of the ball. They've struggled so far today defensively.
They have. I just don't think they came in mentally prepared for Seattle U. I can't say it enough. I looked at 4 and 8, and I thought this was going to be a cakewalk for the Huskies. It's been just the opposite.
Lead back to 16. Iheanacho knocked away, but scooped up off the deck by Harris. Back to Tyree Iheanacho. Late shot clock. Osibor, hands off. Mason gets it off.
A good clock recognition by Makai Mason.
That's the same foul we just saw, basically, a collision in the air.
That's a big one, AJ. It's 18:23 left. And Great Osibor picks up his third foul.
Now, Huron Dan, this is a development. He's having an issue with a tooth, we're being told, had to go into the locker room.
That might be the only thing that could stop the big fella tonight.
A freshman from China that came into the game, as you see him coming back out, 6'10" center who is averaging just around 12 minutes per game coming in. And he's having a huge game today with 8 points on 4 for 4.
And Malik Arrington threw up a prayer that time and it wasn't answered. But we saw Huron Dan coming back. That's one of the reasons coaches always want you to wear a mouthpiece. I never wore one as a player because I was a point guard. And I had to shout out instructions all the time, but a lot of guys wear mouthpieces, and that's one of the reasons why you don't want to lose it too.
Nine to 4 margin in turnovers favoring Seattle U, and they score off the turnover. Moncrief.
AJ, you talk about a wicked crossover. All right, Matthew Alexander Moncrief, I see you. Getting to the cup like Sidney Moncrief.
9 points, 8 rebounds for the Toronto native.
Yeah, what a difference he makes for Seattle U.
Blocking foul. Harris was able to draw it.
Yeah, we're going to take another look at Matthew Alexander Moncrief right here. He gets the ISO one-on-one, and whoops! Crossed over Great Osibor and dropped him off in the basket. He's smiling about it. I don't blame him. Oh, that's an early Christmas present for him right there. I see you. I see you, Moncrief. Do your thing, baby.
I mean, he's doing this after missing the last 3 games. We were at shoot-around. The coaches were like, oh, we don't really know what we're going to get out of Moncrief tonight. And he's given them what looks like it's going to be a double-double.
He's a young man that looked like he's in shape. He doesn't look out of shape at all. I guess that would be your only concern. But 9 points, 8 rebounds. He's off to a fantastic start, and he's going to have a double-double again.
This has been like a runaway train. You keep on waiting for Washington to come back in the game. Those free throws will bring it to 16.
And Seattle U switched up. Great Osibor is now guarding Williamson. They've got Tyler Harris on Moncrief.
Christopoulos leaning back. Short.
That's his
rebound.
Right
Moncrief. Throw down.
Throw it down, Moncrief. I see you. He's come to play. Wow. The Redhawks are shocking the Husky fans here. And shocking me as well.
That's the largest lead of 18 once again. Osibor splits it. Mason lets it loose. And Washington is 1 of 12 from 3.
That's been their Achilles heel all season long.
Christopoulos, little heat check. Moncrief another board. Here's Dawson on the penetration. Bank shot wouldn't go. Oh, throwaway. Went through the arms of Osibor. Here's Paris Dawson, the fifth-year transfer from Portland State.
Yeah, he willed that one in.
20-point lead.
He sure did. This is just all Seattle U here on Montlake. The Redhawks have come and they're just taking all the fun out of this game for Husky fans. And they are fired up.
Well, Christmas was going to come early to someone in Seattle. It might be the Redhawks.
Yeah, Matthew Alexander Moncrief is putting everybody on notice that I'm a man down there in the paint. Yeah, it's all Seattle U, ladies and gentlemen.
Old Trapper Beefs. Energy emergency.
You think this guy got to have some game, and he does. 11 and 11 coming into this one, averaging 14 and 10. Missed the last 3 ball games, as you mentioned, but he hasn't missed a beat, man. He looks absolutely fantastic, and he's up for the challenge. Seattle U up 20 on the Huskies at home. Wow.
Well, that last timeout was taken by Danny Sprinkle, so we're still in the under 16 timeout window. And a break coming. Diallo blocked from behind.
That's 12 rebounds for Moncrief. He's a man out there. 6'8".
No field goals in more than 3 minutes for Washington. We have to go back on defense again. Moncrief right through King.
He's feeling like nobody on Washington team can guard him. And I agree with him.
He might be right.
Yes, he is. He finished that with the left. He has a nice game off the dribble. Playing power forward for Seattle U, but he can handle the rock.
6 straight for SU. 22-point lead. Davis is in trouble. Look out for a 5-second call. That was close. Here's Harris slashing, playing off 2 feet. Picks up his own miss, turns, and scores.
A nice job of staying with it by Tyler Harris. I would have liked to see him drive in there and try to dunk on somebody. He shot a little bit of a floater, but was able to get it back and put it in. Washington has to get some defensive stops, and they've got to know where this guy with the rock is at all times. He's got to send a help defender. He's just scoring too easy.
Moncrief can't finish there. Remember, Washington last year came back from 16 down in the second half in a game that the Huskies won in double overtime against Seattle U. And Harris inches them closer.
That's a nice looking shot right there by Tyler Harris. Washington is just playing straight perimeter with great Osibor out of the game. They don't have anybody that can score in the paint. So they've got to score from the perimeter.
Timeout taken by Chris Victor. Tyler Harris shooting 47% from three-point range coming into this game and gets Washington back within 17.
So the
reason why it's going to be really cool going into conference play this year, there's just really no recent history with any of these non-West Coast teams. A good start to the second half for Tyler Harris, who has all 10 of Washington's second half points.
How about that? That's a great job by our producer bringing that to our attention, Bart Fox, because I wasn't aware.
Catch and shoot by Braden Maldonado.
And Washington's got to get some buckets, and then on the other end, they got to get some stops. But where's the offense going to come from?
Diallo wants it to come from him. It didn't, and a foul on Butler. Quickly, before we dive into the rest of this matchup, Eldridge, as you take a look here at the numbers by Harris, I want to get your thoughts on kind of what things are going to look like this year during conference play, because you're going to have that feeling out process where everything's new.
Yeah, but what it's going to look like is everybody's going to double Great Osibor and take the ball out of his hands and dare somebody else to beat him. And so far this season, nobody else has been able to do it. Tyler Harris stepping up big time here in the second half with 10. But they're going to need some production from their guards. They're just not getting the production from the perimeter players. And that's just too easy right there.
And Williamson pays it off.
And you can't gamble, go for a steal when you're on the block, because you have nobody behind you to help. And that's just a young redshirt freshman mistake by Christian King.
Skip past Butler. The freshman can shoot it, and he committed to Illinois. He recommitted to Washington, and they're happy to have him.
I talked about him in the first half. I thought Danny Sprinkle might give him a shot because he can knock down some three-point shots, and whoever can knock down some threes is going to get some major burn for Washington coming up in Big Ten play because they've absolutely been struggling.
Seattle U has led by as many as 22. Christopoulos just a little bit short. Could this be the Dogs' run they've been searching for all night, or the start of it at least? Diallo smushed by Heimbrodt.
That's a great block.
Heimbrodt is a freshman from San Anselmo, California. Has not played a ton this year.
That's just great help defense.
Double team against Kobe Williamson, fifth-year player from Melbourne, Australia. Now Christopoulos attacks. Foul call.
Yeah, not really his game attacking the rim, but they ran him off that three-point line. It's a good move by John.
Look at the help defense here.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at this fantastic block shot right here, but he sees the ball. He's not ball watching. He's not watching his man. He just comes over and swats that thing. That's a great block shot by a freshman. Got John with a chance to add to his points. He's got 13. I know he will be motivated for this game.
Yeah, you were talking about that with, you know, like the Watts kids in the Washington State matchup, that anytime you have someone from Seattle in a matchup like this, there's going to be extra motivation.
Well, nothing motivates you like it. You know, if you're not recruited by the local school, you always want to give in the business. And a lot of guys have been coming back, giving Washington the business. Isaiah Watts with 2 big-time dunks in the last game, and Christopoulos now with 15. Yeah.
And in this case, I mean, it's not even just those guys. It's everyone, coaches, players on Seattle U that are used to sort of being the little brother in this matchup, and just the attention or lack of attention they receive. And this is a coming out party up to this point.
Yeah, like I said, they're playing with house money. They absolutely have nothing to lose because everyone expects them to lose.
It's a
3 guys around Osobor right here. Look,
series
4
winning
guys
streak
around him.
for Washington, and Osobor, against all of that traffic, is able to draw a foul. Seattle U, 11:54 left to go, in control. Is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now, what's at stake for these teams? It's a 19-game winning streak. You mentioned Seattle U came back up from lower division, and ever since then, Washington has won every single meeting since 2008. So Seattle U seeking their first win at Washington since 1978.
That's back in the Jawan Oldham days right there. Went on to play in the NBA. I think Carl Irvine might have been on that team. Tyler Harris has been the difference maker for you, the only bright spot. Great Osobor is back out there, 11-40. He's got 3 fouls. AJ, let's see if he can stay out of foul trouble and see if he can help his team get back in this, because it's been completely dominated by Seattle U. They're going ISO with Moncrief again.
Stumbling through. Under 10 seconds on the possession. Reject the screen. Dawson up and over the shot blocker. Wouldn't go.
Good help by Tyler Harris. He's in the right position. Yeah.
Numbers for SU. It's Christopoulos.
Ball corner pocket. We don't usually miss too many of those wide open like that. That was a great look for John. Couldn't knock it down. Washington dodging the bullet there.
Here's Diallo using Osobor right there. Mid-range, yes.
He has that in his game, AJ. Zoom Diallo can shoot that mid-range jumper. Just needs to work on his 3, but he's got to do a better job of running off that big body of great Osobor. He's coming off the screen a little bit too wide. Got to get a little bit tighter to rub his defender off.
What's the roadmap for Washington to keep on getting closer?
They got to get stops, and they got to knock down some perimeter shots.
Well, if Mason just had to let that go, that was heading out of bounds.
It has to start on the defensive end.
No field goals for Seattle U in the last 2:30.
Yeah, they're shooting 47% from the field, 27% from 3.
Tough contested shot by Maldonado.
It was. Zoom is calling for the screen again. Defenders keep going under on him.
Even in, foul is called. Basket good.
That's his game right there. He's the guy to me for you, Doug. You know, I just like him at the point. I just think he's the guy. This is a freshman, just taking his time, being real patient, using the screen, getting in the lane, and once he gets in there, he knows how to use his body and finish. AJ, that's a 6'10" guy he's taking it to. He jumped right into his chest.
He was born in the Ivory Coast. Fourth foul there on Huron Dan. And early on, about 2 years old, his older brothers, Zoom Diallo's brothers, noticed that his given name, Vazumana, people were having trouble saying it. They nicknamed him Zoom. But has to do with his grandfather on his mom's side named him Vazumana. The name means leader, one who takes charge. And he wants to go back to having his first name heard more. So expect some more Vazumana in the future. Might change it on the roster next year.
And I thought his parents were Commodores fans for the song Zoom. You're telling me something different. Okay, I was off on that one. I think that's going to be a turnover.
Oh, did he go across? A late call. It's over and back.
I don't think the referee saw it, but Danny Sprinkler helped him out. I don't think the ref was there to see his foot on the line, but it is a good call because I saw it. If you take a look right there, you can see his foot on the line a little bit. Oh, the ref did see it. He's looking right at it. Yeah, good call. Good job. He tried to pull it back.
Well, that was work. Randy Richardson. It's Kelly Pfeiffer, Scott Brown, the other officials.
They can cut this lead to under 10 right here, AJ, believe it or not. There's still a lot of time left. Block. I thought they might call an offensive foul. Looked like Zoom dropped his shoulder a little bit. Take a look at the drive right here. That's a good call. Harris kind of threw his body into his, and he doesn't want that body contact though. That young man's been in the weight room. He is ripped.
So there was an issue where the clock kept running, and so they're going to have to go reset the clock here.
Right? .933, 933.
Yeah, we can see that clock continuing to run. Yeah, it looked like 9:33 was the mark. Good job by the officials, because I definitely didn't see it. Giving Zoom a little ISO down there on the block.
He's really comfortable in that part of the court.
AJ, I'm telling you, he's the guy, man. I'm not sure what's going on, but he needs to be on the floor because he can play. He was a highly recruited player when he was at Curtis High School. He dropped a little bit when he went to the prep school, but he's got some game. I love his attitude. He's not pouting, doesn't complain, coming off the bench, but he always produces.
Heimbrock, Christopoulos. It's good, and the foul!
That's just bad defense. You got to stay with him. You can help on anybody else out there, but not John Christopoulos, because he can shoot the rock. I mentioned it before. First time I saw this young man, he was in the 5th grade, and he had a grown man jumper. The Huskies just losing. You can't get out to him late. But this is going to be Yakum.
It's also going to be, if he makes this free throw, his second 4-point play.
He's got 18 with a chance to make it 19, and we still have 9 minutes left to play.
Oh, very briefly, University of Washington got the deficit down to a single-digit one. It was the first time they were down by less than 10 since just about 4 minutes left in the first half. But the answer by Christopoulos with a 4-point play, expanding the lead back from 9 to 13. Reach and foul there on Malik Goma.
And that's a good job by Great Asabor.
Great Asabor in the second half, nothing there.
Well, he's had fouls. He hasn't even really been on the floor. And he picked up that 3rd foul. Just hadn't had a chance to get into the floor of the offense. But if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to find a way to get him involved. And he needs to knock down these free throws. This has been the one Achilles heel in this game, has been his free throw shooting.
In the mid-60s for his career. He's 54% from the line this year. And now 3 of 5 today with that front and 1-and-1 miss.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about it a little bit too much.
Hop step, Christopoulos. No, it wouldn't go.
That was a nice move. He's feeling good. Attacking the rim. Known more for his perimeter shooting, but he's attacking the rim. Lets you know he's feeling really good. 2 guys coming. Move that ball.
Good skip pass. Butler for 3.
That's the shot Washington has to make. When Great Osabor's double team, somebody has to knock down those shots. And Washington just hasn't been able to find somebody that can do it consistently.
Is there anything they can do better to get their guys in position to make more of those shots?
No, they're in position. They just got to make them. It's on the shooters. They're getting wide open looks. It's not like these are contested threes that we're talking about. They're wide open three-point shots.
Mason goes back around the screen. Chase Butler, jump stop. It's Mason. They're one of their best shooters this year. He misses off the side of the backboard, but Harris follows.
But that's what I'm talking about right there, AJ. There wasn't a defender within 5 feet of him. He had a wide open look. That one hit the side of the backboard.
Back to 11, though.
Tyler Harris was 17, yeah. He's been the one guy that's keeping him in this game in the second half.
That's a foul first before the shot on that slicing move by Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Washington creeping a little bit closer, back to within 11. Timeout. Is this headed in a better direction right now for Washington?
You know, they're only down 11. 7:35 left. Moncrief is at the line. He has a chance to bump it up to 13, but they still have a chance.
I mean, I guess the reality though is if Seattle U if they make a few shots in a row, if they have one counter punch right here, it could put it out of range. That's the thing. It's got to be a lot of Washington the rest of the way.
Yeah, I would expect Washington to try to start picking up full court and at least doing some kind of trap and try to see if they can change the momentum of this game, because Seattle U has been controlled the entire way. But as I mentioned, 7:35, that's a lot of time.
We talked about Osabor, how he had 13 in the first half, nothing since. This is Matthew Alexander Moncrief ready at the foul line. By the way, DJ Davis as well, though, coming off his season high 35 minutes, 21 points against Washington State. He has 3 points on 1 for 5 from both the field and 3-point range.
Yeah, he's struggling here tonight. As you mentioned, after a really good outing against Washington State, I thought that would help his confidence a little bit. But Washington just struggled shooting the ball from 3. Everybody out there on the floor.
They're 3 for 16 as a team. Seattle U is only 4 for 16 from 3, but SU has had the points off turnovers advantage.
He's going to try to beat Williamson.
Well, he does, and there's a foul on the helper, Heimbrock.
A good job by him. Realizing that he has a speed advantage over Williamson, just took him to the hole and drew the foul. I like this young man's game, AJ. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but he just seems like the guy to me. And it's funny that he comes off the bench, but he's been the guy that's been running most of the plays for and giving him several ISO situations. You don't usually see a guy come off the bench and get ISO.
But if they're, my point though would be, if he's kind of getting most of the action anyway, how much does it matter whether he's coming off the bench or starting?
Oh, it matters. It matters. If you're the guy, you want to start. You want to be out there on the floor when the horn blows. You throw it up for the first time. It's not the NBA with the super sub stuff. He needs to be on the floor. He's out there right now.
Yeah, they started Davis last game to try and give Davis some more confidence. That's the word we heard in the press conference. And they went with the same lineup this time around.
But you got to go with the guys that are getting it done, man. You got to produce. You know, that's the bottom line. You're only going to get so many opportunities because Big Ten players coming up. Coach Sprinkle needs to know who he can rely on. They're trying to pick up that 4th foul on Osabor. Good job of not picking it up. Yeah.
By Williamson.
Williamson went right at him. I don't blame him. Every time down, if I'm Seattle U, I go at him.
Osabor spinning. That's waved off by Kelly Pfeiffer. I was wondering if there's going to be continuation there. It's going to be a 1-and-1.
I'm kind of confused on what type of offensive set that was. It looked like a broken play. Zoom looked like he was just trying to go one-on-one. The ball ends up in Osabor's hands. But he's at the line. Let's see if he can knock him down.
Just missed that front end on the previous 1-1. That's the 9th Seattle U team foul, and Osibor, potentially that's 4 points off the board. 2 front end 1-1 misses.
He has a nice looking shot, AJ. It just goes to show something is in his head mentally, because his form looks good, his release looks good. He just can't make them, and he's dropping his head after every miss.
That's clearly a foul on Diallo. Not the first time either that Moncrief has got tied up with someone after the whistle.
Yeah, that's just his kind of thing. He likes all the he likes all the extra stuff. Yeah. Well, that's a hook and hold on Moncrief right there. Zoom Diallo didn't initiate that grab. Moncrief did that. The refs missed it. Moncrief is one of those guys that yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. Yeah, a little undersized. No, Zoom grabbed and hooked it first, and then Moncrief returned the favor. I don't know if you remember, AJ, but the refs made a big time emphasis on hook and holds a couple seasons ago. I haven't really seen them calling it much the last 2 years. This young man has had a great game, though.
Look at those numbers.
Yeah, he's got 16 points and what, 13, 14 rebounds? Wow.
Double figures in the second half, up to 11 points in the half.
There's going to be a problem in the WAC.
Time is becoming a factor, approaching the 6-minute mark. Davis, long.
It wasn't even close. Drew no rim at all. Hit on the other side of the rim on the backboard. You can see Seattle U's going to take their time and run their stuff, try to milk as much time off the clock as they can, which is a smart move by Coach Victor.
Paris Dawson toward the baseline. Huron Dan gave them huge minutes, especially early. Shot clock toward the close. Heimbrodt gets his own miss. He follows it up, and he's engulfed by Harris and company, and that's a tie-up called by Kelly Pfeiffer coming in.
You just can't let that happen if you're down 13. A guy shoots a 3, and he gets his own rebound. That's just totally unacceptable. As we take another look at it right here, Tyler Harris just didn't box him out. You know, he contested the shot, but didn't block out on defense. And that's a huge offensive rebound for Seattle U. This is the matchup they want right here.
Blocking foul.
Yeah, Zoom tried to sell it. Trying to draw the charge. Take another look at it. I thought he did a good job, AJ. I don't know. The ref disagreed with it. That's the situation you see most of the time when the smaller guy is guarding the big guy. They don't really want to guard him, so they try to pick up that offensive foul. Look at the ref. The ref is earning some double pay over there. He's mopping the floor and officiating the game.
It's Kelly Pfeiffer down there. So it's a 13-point margin. Right now, 9 fouls on both teams. This is the final 1-1 for either team. And it's double bonus for both. Rest of the way, and Moncrief 70% this season, and Moncrief is 8 for 9 from the line today. That's made, it hasn't been the only difference, but it's been a big difference.
He's been a huge difference maker. Yeah, him and John Christopoulos are leading the way for Seattle U. But he's been big time, especially
Washington
on the glass.
Is 10 for 17, Eldridge, from the line. Seattle U is 18 for 20.
Yeah, that's the difference. Both Moncrief and Christopoulos have 19.
Being your fair share of fouls, you see the UW players that are in some foul trouble. Diallo leads the way with 4.
Yeah, and they need him on the floor. He's going to the free throw line right now.
And 2 different Seattle U players. It's been a quiet day for their starting point guard, Arrington. He's got 4. And Huron Dan, who scored 8 points all early on, also with 4.
We just heard the PA announcer said it's a double bonus for Washington, so they'll be shooting 2 free throws from here on out. 5:26. They still got a chance, AJ, but they got to make a move right here. Zoom has to knock down this other free throw, and then they got to start picking up full court, trying to create some turnovers and see if they can get back into this thing.
He went to the same high school as Isaiah Thomas, Zoom Diallo, Curtis Senior High School. He said that IT is like a big brother to him. Of course, he's got his jersey in the rafters here, Isaiah Thomas, and that he always tells him stay even-keeled in all situations. Back to 13 after Zoom hits him. Now it is Christopoulos in rhythm off the curl.
That's his shot right there. I don't think Coach Victor is upset at all about that shot attempt. Good look for him.
13 points with 5 minutes to go, the margin in this game. One-on-one, Osibor against Huron Dan.
That's too easy.
Just bullied him.
One-on-one, AJ, he's going to score most of the time. Seattle, you talked about sending another defender and shoot around, but they're letting him get his, but not letting anybody else do anything, and so far it's paying off for him.
Also a no call there with Dan having 4 fouls is notable. Refs swallowing the whistle there, and here Moncrief collapses. Coach Victor wanted a foul for Seattle U, letting him play. King in transition, back rim, and he fouled Dan.
That's a bad foul right there, but I think it was a frustration foul. Christian King had a good look, couldn't knock it down.
Could this have been Huron Dan's 5th?
It should have been a flop. They used to have that flop rule too.
Well, they still do. They just don't really call it anymore.
Huron Dan didn't want no part of Great Osibor on that play. He tried to foul out of that bad boy, trying to draw an offensive foul. And I agree, it should have been his 5th foul. He should have been out of there. He's got to work on his abdominal strength. He's getting hit in the midsection, AJ, and he's kind of folded over every time.
Seattle U takes a timeout, and we will take a timeout. 11-point differential.
I'm the team mascot.
10 minutes a game last year at University of Georgia, and then comes down to the mid-major level, and this is what he's been this year. He's averaged a double-double this season.
Yeah, 14 points and 10 rebounds a game, and tonight, as I mentioned, he's just been absolutely fantastic. 19 and 14. Impressive.
Huron Dan makes the free throw. What a moment this could potentially be for head coach for Seattle U, Chris Victor. Again, took over a few years ago in 2021 on short notice. Jim Hayford got let go because of some unfortunate words that he said leading into the season, some offensive conduct. And Chris Victor had to take over in kind of what was a little bit of a broken locker room at the time with all the turmoil going on with the coaching situation. And they went on to win the WAC title that year. And he won WAC Coach of the Year, was named permanent head coach before they went into the postseason. Now they've run into Grand Canyon the last couple of years in the postseason. That's been tough. And Grand Canyon, a team that's won an NCAA tournament game, but this would be pretty cool for them to win for the first time at Washington since they moved back up to Division I in 2008.
Well, it ain't over yet. Tyler Harris knocked down that 3. He's been the one bright spot for Washington here in his second half, and all of a sudden it's a 10-point game with 3:50 left to play. They got to send some help on this guy, though. He's been having his way.
Spin move, Moncrief gets 2 more.
Too easy, AJ, one-on-one. Matthew Alexander Moncrief convinced me that he's got game, and you got to send a defender to take that ball out of his hands.
Osibor offensive, you're right.
Yep, good call by the refs.
So that last bucket by Moncrief, by the way, that actually snapped about a 5-minute field goal drought for Seattle U. They're still up 12.
That's a good job by Paris Dawson. Boy, and he paid for that one.
So
that's a brownie point play right there with coaches. They love guys that take charges. I don't know if I want to take one against Great Osibor, though. 250 pounds hitting you like that. Ouch.
He and Diallo both have 4.
Well, they got to make a move right here. It's 3:34 left. They're down 12. But they're continuing just to play straight up man-to-man defense. I don't get that one. You got to try to create some turnovers. Seattle usually just going to milk as much time as they can off the clock. Good hand by Osibor.
Think about Washington having 3 true freshmen out there right now: King, Butler, and Diallo in this late game situation. As you see, Seattle U all time. Of course, they were not in D1 for a long time, so didn't get a chance to play Washington for a few decades. but this could be one of their biggest wins by margin in the series in program history.
Yeah, this is going to be huge for them. I remember the campaign to get back to Division I. As I mentioned, Steve Looney, my wife's uncle, you know, he was really involved with the program back then. They invited everybody out. Elgin Baylor was there. Charlie Williams was there. Eddie Miles was there. Tom Workman was there. And this is going to be a huge win for them if they can somehow hang on. 306 up 12.
For Washington, not what you're looking for coming off the Apple Cup big win and then only their second to last non-conference game before going back into Big Ten play. Maybe an ominous sign. Christopoulos, end of the shot clock. Stripped by Osibor.
That's
and
good
it's
defense.
a shot clock violation.
Yeah, good defense by Greg Osibor. Washington's got to get something quick, and then they got to get a stop. Let's see where they go.
Right now going to Zoom Diallo. Now Osibor. Power spin move.
It's a nice move, but he's wide open from 15 feet, AJ, and he's not even looking at the basket to take the jumper. You know, he put that ball on the floor and he scored, but I think he's going to have to start taking that shot just to keep the defense honest. So we take another look right here. Zoom drives to the basket, kicks it to him. He's wide open. He doesn't even look at the rim. That's his favorite move, spinning and going left-handed off the glass. See a little bit of the frustration on his face. A lot of these guys are new, AJ. I don't think they really know the impact of this game right now, and if they lose to Seattle U, but all the local folks here, we know this is going to be huge for the Redhawks.
Team that's moving to the West Coast Conference starting next season. Seattle U is excited about that, even though Gonzaga is on the way out. They'll get 1 year crossing over with Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference.
I also want to mention the impact of not having Frank Kepnon and Willem Breidenbach has been huge.
And I'm wondering what you think about that going forward now after seeing this against the Seattle U team that has good bigs. You got Maryland coming up. You got Michigan with their Twin Towers in Wolf and Golden.
Those guys aren't healthy. You know, I sure hope Kepnon is back out there. He's been out for a while. I know Wilhelm Breidenbach probably won't be out too much longer.
They're saying, I asked again today on Kepnon, because last year there was a lot of times the word that Kepnon was going to come back. He never ended up coming back after the ACL injury the year before as well. And they say, but they still expect Kepnon back sometime in January. Williamson turns. No. Moncrief, another loud two.
He's been the man all game long. That's 21 for him and 15 rebounds. That's some big time stats. And he moves his feet defensively. Look at it.
Diallo, a rare three, almost banked it in. Pinballs around Moncrief, another one. 16th rebound.
And Washington is going to play the foul game. That's it for Zoom Diallo. That's his fifth, so he's going to foul out of this game. 13 points off the bench for Zoom. Fans are starting to hit the exit. I think the Washington crowd's a little bit stunned. I have to be honest, AJ. I'm a little stunned myself. I didn't see this coming.
One of the best crowds of the year heading into Christmas here. This place has been packed for this, and a lot of them on the way out right now.
Well, the team in red with the Christmas colors on is an early Christmas present for them. Christmas is 2 days away, but I'm pretty sure Coach Chris Victor is going to celebrate if they can hang on. Yeah, one of my buddies, Leroy Kennedy, my unofficial electrician, AJ, was telling me that Malik Arlington played against my AAU team when I used to have a little team called Purple Rain. I don't remember him from the 4th grade. That's when we played him, but I do remember him from high school. Didn't do much here tonight, points-wise, but his team looked like they're going to come out with a huge upset.
Mason. No. Possible offensive rebound. Strip, but a foul on Arrington.
Yeah, they're going to call him for sticking his hand in the cookie jar, trying to get a steal. He knew it.
And that's his fifth.
Yeah, he fouls out with 4 points. Getting a big round of applause from the fans over there. Like, as I mentioned, it's got some family and friends here. Yeah. What a moment, man. You know, to go back home. Well, not back home. Seattle U is here, but to play against UW, I know it's a school that was probably on his dream list of schools. I don't believe he was recruited by the Huskies. But to come back and get a win has to be a good feeling.
This is not just on pace to be a win. This is a decisive win.
Yes, it is.
For the team coming in from the Western Athletic Conference. Now, Seattle U, they do have a quad 1 win this year. They're only 2-8 against Division I opponents. They beat UC San Diego. We'll see what becomes of the rest of UC San Diego's season, but they're actually top 60 in the net right now with an 11-2 record. They handed UC San Diego at the time their first loss of the season.
Yeah, a little bit too little, too late. UW trying to full court press now, but I don't think there's enough time left. Down 12. This is Paris Dawson going to the free throw line. Let's see what Paris is from the line this season.
Paris Dawson.
He's an 86% free throw shooter, so that's not the guy you want going.
If this doesn't change, though, where do you go from here for Washington? How do you kind of rally the troops and get their heads back into this after a dispiriting loss?
You got one more game. That's a tune-up game. New Jersey Institute of Technology on the 29th. You know, they got to find the right guys to put out there on the floor. He's been experimenting with the lineup. He should have some type of idea by now who can do what. And I'll say it again. I just like Zoom Diallo running the team. You know, we haven't seen much of Tyree and Nacho tonight, especially here in the second half. Not sure what happened with him, but I like him defensively. But I just like Zoom running the team. You know, I really do. DJ Davis he's got to find a way to consistently knock down some perimeter shots, as well as Makai Mason.
King knocks it in. 10-point differential after that shot, and Washington uses its final timeout. Now, there is some news coming in today on the positive side for Washington, despite the way this game is trending. They're actually making a mid-season addition to their roster. Out of France, Dominique Diomande, who is a projected top 50 NBA pick by Draft Express. Not here quite yet, but he has been made eligible. He's been clear they were working to get him eligible mid-season, and we'll see what becomes of this, if he plays a role later in the season or not. It's still too early to tell.
Can he shoot the three? Because that's what's on the Christmas list for Danny Sprinkle. Can he knock down the three ball? That's what they need. I sure hope that he can. I sure if he comes in here and he plays. I saw the announcement a few days ago. Looked like a really nice player on paper. And they need some help. They need somebody else that can come out there and give Great Ossipor some help offensively on a consistent basis.
Well, before Washington's mini 2-game winning streak, Danny Sprinkle, he made a comment going into one of their games that we had that he never had issues like this with a team before. They had some effort and some attention to detail issues early in the season. His teams also typically have very good offensive efficiency. He's been to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. Last year at Montana State, 2 in a row. Or last year at Utah State, the 2 before that with Montana State. And so this has been a surprising start for someone who's used to seeing the shots go in and seeing a lot of wins. A lot more wins than losses historically. But this year, you mentioned it, Eldridge, when you get a bunch of transfers coming in at once, you never quite know, and it takes some time to integrate people in, as Christopoulos is going to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, you got a lot of new pieces. You know, you got 8 new guys that basically play the bulk of the minutes. You've got Breidenbach, Frank Kepnon, Christian King, you know, the returning guys that Christian King didn't play last year, he redshirted. So Kepnon and Breidenbach, only 2 guys that played. Then you bring in all these new pieces. It's a new system, it's new teammates. It takes a while. It takes a while to gel. But then you just don't know what guys are going to do. When you step up to the Big Ten level, that's a different level of basketball. That's as high as it gets in college basketball. So a lot of these guys that were having success at some of these lower divisions, they're not going to get that same production.
They have shown they can rise to the occasion, like that win just last time on Wednesday against Washington State. Last Wednesday, but this is one of the more disappointing moments of the season so far for the Huskies. Rebound, Heimbrodt. 12-point advantage. Here come the Redhawks. Dawson, that pass picked off by King. Up ahead to Mason.
Kai Mason has had some good looks. It just hasn't been his night from three. He gets the lane to go there. But he's really struggled from the perimeter as well.
1 for 11 from the field until that make. He's 0 of 8 from 3.
Wow. At some point, you got to realize it's not your night from behind the arc and try to do something else. But you're going to have those nights, AJ, sometime when the ball doesn't go in from the perimeter. And tonight, definitely one of those nights for the Washington Huskies.
Seattle U, they've made their free throws today. We've been talking about that. Now, 18 for 20 this half and 25 for 28 overall.
Yeah, I brought my Elgin Baylor jersey and my Elgin Baylor bobblehead, but maybe it was a bad idea. Maybe I jinxed my own ball club here, AJ, tonight. The Seattle U's just been fantastic. They look like they're going to hang on. Doesn't look like they're going to hang on and win this one. Up 12 with 51 seconds to play.
Hustle play by Dawson. He's called for a kickball, which is going to prevent that highlight from Heimbrodt, potentially, with 49 seconds left. Well, scissor, it's like a, in soccer, you call that a scorpion kick, if you saw that.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about soccer, so I'm going to let you have that one, eh? Paris Dawson.
I don't know much about soccer either, but I just...
Let me rephrase it. I don't know anything about soccer.
At least I know that, I guess. 12-point lead for Seattle U. As King can't cut it to 10 with the layup, but he's going back to the foul line.
Yeah, he did everything right but make the shot. Great drive by Christian King. Like he ran out of gas there on the lay-in, but he stayed with it. He's going to get a chance to get it 2 from the free throw line.
What about him this year? Because he's clearly a guy that can make a shot. I think they're still wondering whether he's consistently playable in other areas.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys we've been seeing getting some playing time. That rotation is about to get cut down. Wouldn't surprise me if we get in the Big Ten play and he's only playing about 7 guys, because you got to try to win, man. The experimentation process is over. They'll have a 7-game home stretch counting Maryland and Illinois, and this is the where are we at? We're at the 5th game right here. They've got 3 more after this. So this is the 4th game. They got 3 more. And they've been experimenting with different guys. We've been seeing DJ Davis and Jace Butler, but I think he's about to cut that rotation down. And these next few days of practice over the holiday break is going to be huge.
Push off there called on Braden Maldonado, all taking place right in front of Redhawks head coach Chris Victor. Didn't like it, but hey, it's still a 10-point game, under 30 seconds to go. Harris spinning, kicks it to Christian King, a step back 3. It's good. No timeouts left for Washington. They need a foul here, I think. Maybe they need a steal. And a timeout, Seattle U with 16.5. It is a 7-point game. It is as close as Washington has been in a while, though. Unlikely that there's enough time left, but still.
But they didn't want to foul Maldonado, and I see why. He's a 92% free throw shooter. So they didn't want to send him to the line. But at this point, you really don't have a choice. You got to try to save as much time as you can. They didn't. Seattle U gets the timeout, but Maldonado at 92%. I talked about Paris Dawson. He's at 86%. John Christopoulos, 81. They just have some really, really good free throw shooters, and it's tough to foul guys late in games when they're shooting like that from the line.
27 for 30 as a team.
Yeah, excellent.
Seattle U also has the arrow, so a tie-up wouldn't do Washington any good right now, unless they got 2 of them. 7-point margin right now. This is as close as Washington has been in the half.
Well, this is going to be the first win for Seattle U since 1978, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about a long time. I mentioned Juwan Odom playing for Seattle U back then. It's going to be a huge win for Coach Victor and his staff.
Time winding down. They foul Paris Dawson with 11.2.
Yeah, you know, Coach Victor has to be feeling good about that. Dawson, 86% from the line. I've seen some crazy things happen, but a 7-point lead with 11 seconds left. I don't think I've seen that one being blown before.
Very successful head coach previously at Citrus College, community college in Glendora, California. And then played the assistant game at the Division I level in Eastern Washington. He was a Seattle U assistant, named head coach, and they're about to get their first win over Washington since before they went down away from Division I and came back. It'll be the first win, as you said, since November 28th, 1978.
Yeah, it's going to be a good Christmas for the Seattle University Redhawks.
King a miss. Rebound Seattle U, and the Redhawks come into Seattle and get to celebrate Christmas early.
Yes, they do. Big time win for Seattle University over University of Washington. The first one in the last 20